The law of detachment makes me $50,000 a month as a trader. If you don't believe me, here's last month's P&L. And I'm someone who was once in your position or probably worse. So I'm not showing you this just to flex. I just want to show you what's actually possible when you apply the right insight. So today I want to share what the law of detachment really does for a trader, how it clicked for me, and how you can detach too. Because honestly, most of the stuff you hear about trading psychology is complete BS advice. And if I'm going to be real with you, I'm tired of it. So my promise to you, if you stick to the end of this video, you'll leave with real actionable advice that you can apply today and become more consistent. Now, it sounds crazy to say, but you will become the most profitable, consistent trader when you just let go. And I know you've probably already heard this before. You need to trade with no emotion. And I know that's probably never worked once, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. So let's say we have two traders, same experience level. One of them logs onto the market every day and is sitting in their chair. Oh, I really hope I win today. I need money for whatever. The guy who is so attached to that winning day, he's gonna lose over and over and over again. But the guy who logs onto the market every day and has no care in the world of what the outcome is, that's gonna be the guy that's 10 years later, retired, living his dream life in Dubai. That is the power of detachment. The law of detachment simply means when you care about your goals, but you don't obsess over it, how and when and where it's gonna happen every single second of the day. Now, the interesting thing about this, consistent traders aren't these emotional beings that social media portrays them to be. And when I realized this, it feels like a switch flipped in my head, and then I became super consistent. If I look back 4 years ago when I was unprofitable, I honestly fell into the trap that a lot of people, including you, probably fell into. I had a strategy that worked. I was journaling, I backtested, I knew what my edge was, but I was still losing money every single month, which I never understood until I had this realization. I noticed that even though I was unprofitable with my live account, as soon as I started paper trading, all of a sudden I was profitable. But I also realized that the same emotions I was feeling on the live account, I was also feeling on the paper trading account. At first, I literally thought that there was something wrong with me, and then I realized it is okay to have emotions. You are human. Profitable traders aren't these aliens who don't feel emotions at all. It's something different than that. Any logical human being will associate winning as good and losing as bad. But the difference between paper trading and live trading, I knew the outcome of one was money, and I saw that the outcome of the other was just a fake number. I was subconsciously too attached to the long-term outcome of trading. When I was inconsistent, we're not gonna lie here, right? We all started trading because we wanted to make money, right? I would log on, try to make as much money as possible, and then get off the charts literally when my account was blown. And I was just logging on for the money, for the money, for the money. That's all that was going on in my head. I'd force trades that weren't there. I'd create setups in my head looking at the charts when they weren't even on the screen. That's how deep it got. That's how attached I was to that number. But when I was completely detached from everything, it changed. I didn't care about the money anymore. I totally detached myself from the outcome because I knew every single time I attached myself to that number, to that color, it never ended well. And that's the difference. You have to have as many sample sets of losing, failing, really just screwing your mind up to be like, okay, this doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. So why am I doing it again and again and again and again? I really just started accepting losses. And that's the biggest thing. I switched my thought process and I switched my system into only trusting the system because I know the system works. I've backtested, I've journaled, I've been profitable with taking my own trades. And a lot of my thoughts when I was unprofitable and inconsistent in general was, okay, dude, Luca, if you literally just take the setups you journal and learn and know you're supposed to take and not anything else, there is nothing stopping you from being consistently profitable. Nothing. If I just trust the system that I have data on, I have no reason to obsess over the outcome. But if I'm being real with you, it wasn't just uphill from there. After I realized this, I had that realization, but I had to continue to practice the law of detachment to actually master it. So I want to share with you what actually helped me master the law of detachment, and you can do it too. I'm just like you. I'm no different from you. We started at the same place, and I became consistent. So you can too. One, you need a system that you can actually trust, right? And trust comes from the numbers, not a feeling. How often it wins, your win rate, your risk reward, everything written down. So you can go back and find what you did wrong, the discrepancies within your trading, so you can know where to go to aid yourself, right? Everything from my emotions to every single piece of tangible data that I could write down is all here. So I can just go off of that. And if I go off of my strategy and my system and everything in place here, it would just be a disservice to myself to revenge trade and naked trade on random setups, because how can I journal a random impulse trade or a random revenge trade if I chase and miss a trade? It just doesn't work like that. So everything just kind of ties together, right? Everything from your law of detachment to your psychology, to your risk management, to your executions, to your journal. 2, change the scoreboard. Stop scoring yourself on money. Score yourself on one thing. Did I follow my system? Yes or no? That's the whole switch. A loss where you followed every single rule, that is in the win column. And what I like to call it with my students is you get plus 10 discipline, like plus 10 XP in a video game. You get plus 10 discipline even if you lose a trade, although you followed your rules. So over time, consistently, you will get better and have a better LTV, meaning long-term value within your trading, because maybe you get lucky one time where you don't follow your rules and you go apart from your system. You still make money, but what does that do? Minus 10 discipline, minus 10 XP in your trading, because long-term, you're gonna keep making those mistakes if you keep being undisciplined and going across your rules. It's all about the long-term value. 3, let the math do its job. A good system makes its money over a lot of trades, not on any single one. One trade is basically a coin flip, but a few hundred trades is where your actual edge shows up. Detaching is what actually gets you in the mindset of, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna use the same risk management. I'm gonna use the same rules as any other single trade that I take because I don't care about the outcome. It doesn't affect me, so I don't have to change my outcome and my input towards the outcome in order to fill a void in my emotions and attachment to whatever it is, the money, the account, whatever it is. It lets you take every trade with the same risk without flinching at the scary ones. Listen, the math only breaks if you interrupt it, so don't let that one trade interrupt all the data you've been working hard to get. Yes, you're gonna feel the same emotions that you feel now, but drill it in your head. If you care more, you will not let that get to you. You will not mess up the rest of the data. Now, this is something I preach inside of my mentorship as well, because I know that strategy and all these flashy terms you see on social media don't actually matter. What matters is a repeatable system, data, and psychology that isn't surface level BS that you see everywhere and hear everywhere. So if you want my help applying this and looking to take the step to finally become consistent, go ahead and click the top link in the description. I've had people like Caden go from almost quitting, then 6 months later doing $50,000 months consistently just from trading. I've also had people like Simon going from a struggling construction worker to doing $25,000 months just from trading consistently too. And I hope to see you there next. Thank you for watching.